as you guys just saw there, we're gonna be making a cool game. Yeah! By the way, if you didn't know, we're almost to 300 subscribers, so if you could just go down and just go to your little YouTube browser and, this is a bad example, but there'll be a little red button here. It's just one click away, and you'll be supporting me a lot. We are currently at 292 subscribers. We are so close to 300 subs. At 300 subs, you guys, you get a face reveal from me. And also, in the past couple of days, I've been working on a Friday Night Funkin' mod because I kind of got bored of most of the things I was doing, like the posting drawing shorts until we hit 300 subs. It gets boring and repetitive after a while, so I decided that I'll make a Friday Night Funkin' mod, and so I did. So anyways, today I'm going to be teaching the basics of Scratch, even though it's pretty self-explanatory on what everything here does. And this is going to be like a series of starting like the Choose Your Own Adventure game and the rhythm game tutorials. We're supposed to be more advanced ones, but these are going to be more beginning ones for people who don't really know how to code in Scratch. So this video is going to be rather short, kind of just explaining what most of the blocks do. So let's get into it. So first up, you'll see here is where my mouse is pointing. There'll be a motion block. You go in the motion section, you go and click it, and you have all these blue blocks here. If I drag this, you have all these blocks. There. I'll explain what all of them do in this video. These videos are going to be split up into all these sections, and then I'm going to explain how to use them in different sections. It might get boring or repetitive after a while, but trust me, you want to know the stuff. So right now we have our sprite right here. So first, I'm going to show you what the Move 10 Steps block does. I don't really use this block much, but I'm thinking of using it in a further project because no matter what, the Move block is the block that is affected by rotation. Oh crap, okay. If we if we get our choose sprite, we'll go back to our cat. I wasn't meant to do that yet. We get our cat back, drag him here. If you use this block and then you click it, I'll see that the character moves. But what if you wanted him to, say for example, move the other direction? What you can do is this block uses math as and it moves on any direction that your sprite is rotated in. So if I did that, it would start moving that way, which is dandy, which is cool. So what we can do is, since this block uses math as an object, it uses math, so you could type in any number like 50, and it'll move that much in any direction using its math. Now, if we wanted to go the other direction backwards, you'd have to go into the negative numbers and do that. And then if you clicked, it'll go back. Here, I'll just duplicate this and see. You see, you can make kind of like a little game with this, but it might not be that much of a fun game. So I'm gonna turn them back like that. And now we have the 2 turn blocks. These are basically self-explanatory. What you could do is you click on them, they'll turn. I personally use the pointed direction block because it's way easier, but this can be used. What it does is basically you click either of these blocks and it turns the way. You see this little thing right here, like that little thing, that's the direction it'll turn. So you don't have to do negatives. Like, you can still do negatives and everything, but you don't have to. So we can set it to a number like 90 degrees, and if you keep clicking it, he'll keep turning 90 degrees. Yeah, there you go. So that's basically what your turn blocks does. If you want any more information on it, you just tell me down in the comments below. So we're gonna get into the random position block in a sec. Okay, I was just checking my recording was working and everything. So it seems it was. Now we're gonna go over here and click and drag out our go to random position block, our go to X and Y block, and that's what we're gonna drag out for now. See, these two blocks do different things. The go to random position thing can do things like this. You can make it go to a sprite, another sprite. So if you drag out a sprite here, from here, I'll explain these UIs soon. Probably, you know what, I'll explain these UIs in the next episode. And like what they do. It's pretty self-explanatory on what they do. I'll explain what your HUD does and everything, and how to name and make files and everything, and all that in the next video, or probably after I've explained all of these, okay? So what you could do is basically with this block is you could press go to, and you see since we've added another sprite in, a new thing will be added. So we could do go to Apple instead, and if we click this, our cat will go to Apple. So we could drag him, and then click it again, and then boom. The thing is, there's another thing we could do. We could go to. This is mostly used to set positions when the game is started, but you can actually use these for some things. Like, say for example, we'll quickly copy over, use a Control V, or Control C and Control V, the position of the cat right now, and then once we drag him, we use the HUD to record X and Y positions, and also the sprite's name, whether it's hidden or not, their size, and the direction. But I'm getting off task here. So basically, you can use the go-to blocks to do these things. There. I basically explained. Now we're going to explain these ones. They're basically just... Sorry, I had to pause the video because of a disruption. Nothing serious. It's just my brother walked in asking me to help him with Lego. For some reason, those Legos take a muscular person to fix it. But anyway, these glide blocks are basically just a slower version of the go-tos. So basically, we could do the same thing. Apple, these coordinates are already checked, and look. Look, he'll glide to it instead of just immediately go to it. So just keep in mind that the go-to blocks and the glide blocks are basically the same thing, but the glide blocks are like more animation savvy. But yeah, just remember, go to and glide are basically the same thing, but glide is slower. And it can be used for like smooth animation and everything. So we'll save our project for a sec. Now we're gonna get to the point in direction block. This is the one I like using. We're getting to the ones that I really like using when it comes to motion. And so, the point and direction block, as you can see, we can just click on it and we can drag this thing. If we go point and direction, he'll start pointing in that direction. Yeah. It's kind of the same as the turn this many degrees, but it's a lot more useful for snappy pointing, and boom. Also, while we're at it, point towards the thing, or you could do things like point towards the sprite or point towards the mouse pointer. So if we do that, it'll point towards our mouse pointer, or we could do point towards Apple, and yeah, we click that. So I'm gonna keep the point and direction block out for a sec, and we're gonna move on to quickly. We're gonna bring out this block as an honorable mention called the set rotation style block. This is a lifesaver sometimes. If you're having troubles where it's like this, and like, say for example, it's like this and it sucks and it's just you going upside down and everything, the best solution is always going to be set rotation style left right most of the time. So basically all you have to do is magically you go from all around rotation. So you see if we go negative 90 all around rotation and we go pointing direction negative 90, and we'll point back in the other direction just real quick. We'll go left and right style. Then we go to negative 90. You'll learn that, look. Wait, oh, sorry. There we go. I messed up. Okay, well, I'm actually gonna clone this, drag this here, and look. Now we can actually move our character like that, rotate him like that. It's a lot easier. Saying this is usually the best option you can move towards. So now we got those honorable mentions out of the way. And now we can remove those blocks. And now we're getting into the more blocks that I really love using. We have the change X by block and the change Y by block. You can use these to do some really complex things. And so I can show you. If we do change X by, it's going to use the X coordinates math. Yeah, if you want to know how to use Scratch, you're going to need to know basic math if you want to do cool things. And if you know a lot of math, you can do really cool things. So as you know, same with the move 10 steps block, you'll see, but this one is not affected by rotation, which can be dandy at some times. So we can go like negative 10, and then we can duplicate this, and then just go 10. And if we do that, as you can see, we'll move negative 10. Even if we turn, wait, one sec. I gotta put it to all around real quick. Okay, there we go. Even if we do this, he'll still move in the X direction. Oh wait, that's why. That's why. Oops. And the change Y, the X positions. So no matter what, you'll still have him moving like that, which is good. Now we could duplicate the Y block. And saying there's no Z axis in this engine, even though you could technically, people have found ways to bypass that and make their own stuff. Like 3D, which is insane. Like, I can't even comprehend what they're doing, so don't ever ask me for a 3D tutorial. The best I could give you is probably a size changing, like, illusion 3D tutorial. That's all I could do. Like, don't ask me for something crazy. Anyway, let's get back to our thing. And you know, if you change Y by 10 or negative 10 or any number that's not negative or any number that is negative, remember, if anything is not negative, it'll usually be positive and move like up or right. If it's negative, it'll move left or down. So, there we go. So basically that's the premise of these blocks. You can go delete them. I just drag them in here. Now we're getting in the home stretch. Set X to the set Y to. As you can see, I don't really use these blocks often, but they can be useful. So basically what they do is they kind of do what the go-to block, but split into two parts. So imagine these two. So imagine the go-to block, but split into two. So as you can see, you can do something like set Y to 50, and then set X to, I don't know, 75. And now, if we click them, that's what they do. Think about these blocks is instead, the main difference about change and set is what comes after. Like, what happens is determined of which one comes first. Like, you'll get different results for like that. So yeah, that's basically what those do. Just set the position of your sprite. So now we only have 4 more blocks to do. If on edge bounce, X position, Y position, and direction. These 3 are motion variables, or what I'm going to call them. You see there's little checkmark boxes here. You can click them, and they bring up these big fancy numbers. And as you drag your cat around, those 2 motion variables change. It's because they're comprehending the exact value of your position, your sprite's position, which can be dandy. So we could do something like, actually no, I'm not going to get into complex things until we get further in the series. But basically these are used for variables, so they'll be used for like variables, operators, sensing, control, events, sounds, looking. They'll just be used for mainly, these can be used as motion sensors most of the time, and motion variables. So they're used to support every other section. So that's basically what these do. We'll get into further detail in a future episode. This block is not I'm not able to show it without doing this. Click. If you're on the edge, it'll bounce you. It's basically what it does. It just gives your game a border around, but it doesn't really work. I'd suggest not really using it. It doesn't work very well, in my opinion at least, but you do you. You do you. We'll save our project, and we'll click these check marks. That's basically it for my tutorial on these motion blocks. It wasn't very much of a tutorial, it's more explaining what these blocks do. In the next episode we'll get into the looks, like how to make things say something, switching costumes, which will get us into the costume things. Next, the backdrops, which I'll explain the backdrop UI and everything. The size, which I'll explain the size, and all that. But we'll get that into next video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. If you made it to the end, you are awesome.